So,
Episode 2.
right? And 4th of July week. That sounds weird to say. It sounds...
We should just, kind of like we do Memorial Day, Labor Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day. They're all on set, third Sunday of the month or of June, or third Sunday of May, or last Monday, and kind of like Thanksgiving, man. It's the last Thursday, and when's Thanksgiving? It's on Thanksgiving.
Right. Usually say 4th of July weekend, but that's in the middle of the week. It's kind of like...
It's and I don't remember it being set in the middle of the week, and it feels like it's been like 10, 20 years, but mathematically that's impossible.
That's got to upset a lot of people.
What, being bald?
No, having a...
You see what I did there?
Having a 4th of July in the middle of the week,
At my age, man, and I don't want to sound like an old dude or nothing, because I'm not. I mean, I'm still got plenty of years left, but I just don't really care. It doesn't bother me. I'm fine working 2 days and then taking a day off and then working 2 more days. It's like, it doesn't bother me.
Now I know this is going to crush your soul when you go to...
I don't have a soul.
When you go to the you walk through the grocery store aisle down the meat section and all the ribs are sold out. Right? That's going to just be... It's going to be hard, right?
Meat department? I haven't been through the meat department. I can't remember. Well, actually, I went the other day for my wife. She was like, "While you're there, pick me up some hamburger."
So you don't have any festivity. What are you gonna? You gonna just grill hot dogs or?
Well, my wife over the weekend, she actually Sunday, decided to. She's like, "I'm cold," and she went and pulled on the pull chain on the fan. Rather than get up and turn off the AC or turn the AC, bump it up a notch 1 degree or something like that, turn the air off, she decides to pull on that chain twice. When she pulled on that chain, the whole fan with the light box, like the box that is mounted up in the drywall,
right,
came down. And it was. I walk in, I'm like, "What the hell did you do, Conan?"
When it's quick and it gets to shaking, I'm afraid that thing's going to fly
shaking,
across the room.
You need to get up there with a screwdriver right above the base of your fan.
The chain keeps breaking on the bedroom fan.
Well, what are you tying up there? Were you tying your legs up there? What are you doing?
I think I've got a ghoulie or a gremlin or something that's swinging around.
Over there chewing at?
Yeah, something's going on.
You ever watch that show? It's on Netflix. It's called Orange is the New Black.
No, I've heard of it, but
it's actually a pretty good show, man. I was surprised. It kind of reels you in, Well, the warden in Orange is the New Black, he's a bass player in a a local band, and this is a small town. It's a town where like the women's prison is probably the largest industry there. He's in a band, and his band is called Side Boob.
Nice.
I thought that was a good name for a band.
Oh yeah,
Side Boob. That's a good name for like a bar band who's never gonna plan to.
It's original.
Go further in life, but.
All right, what would they do if they took off and?
They would have to. They would have to change that name.
Side Boob.
The label would never allow it. For some reason, man, our local rock radio here has gotten in this habit of playing like random one-hit wonder kind of, not even hit, just songs from like the 90s that caught on for a couple of months and then they just disappeared. Like they never played them again. Well, they're coming back around, and one of them today was that Hooch song. Who got the hooch?
So it seems like this week there was allegations not too long ago against Maynard Keenan from Tool.
Yeah, wasn't it like a rape or something? Or something weird? Something like drugging a chick or something? One of these Me Too movement things?
Apparently, a female on Twitter that's no longer underage claims that in the year 2000 that she was at a show with her boyfriend, and Maynard said she could come back and meet, or whoever, the roadies or whoever does this, went out to say, "Hey, do you want to meet the band?" And
they have spotters, yeah.
Right, and I think he was on tour with the Perfect Circle, I think. Anyway, and she says that they came out and said that she could come backstage, but her boyfriend couldn't. And then so supposedly she agreed, and he was sitting on a park bench or something and said, oh, well, we can't talk here. Let's go to the tour bus. And then apparently she says she told him he was 17, and he's supposedly forced himself on her on the bus and raped her. There were other people, I guess on Twitter, that came out, or I guess commented on her post and claimed that they had a similar experience
with Maynard.
Yeah. And there were others that said they had no problem and they had consensual experience with Maynard, and that you know, she's lying or whatever. Anyway, Maynard finally came out and said that this is ridiculous. In the 90s, he was known to tackle people on stage and, you know, straddle them.
Straddle them like
certain scenarios.
You mean like it sounds like?
No,
like a dog, like.
No, that was a tour they did, Tool, and some guy got on stage acting like a maniac, and Maynard tackled him to the ground. And
really?
Tackled him to the ground, and
did he like teabag him?
He straddled him and held him down and sang the rest of the song on top of him.
Wow. I wonder if he got like a free T-shirt out of that or something.
Right. But I've experienced personally where, you know, you go to the show with your girl, you want to go backstage, you talk to someone that can get you backstage, and they're not really interested in having the guy go back.
Right, yeah.
It was difficult for me to get backstage to meet certain people. I won't say who, but and I don't even think it's that wrong. I mean, come on. It's a band full of guys. There's not a whole lot of room. You can't you can't let the whole audience back. I mean, and isn't that kind of the thing, you know, the legend of rock and roll, you know, kind of thing. But anyway, I've experienced that bias before, and you know, it didn't upset me or anything. I mean, I ended up actually getting backstage. I'm just saying it was more difficult, and if I didn't have more women with me like I did, I probably wouldn't have went, and they would have just took one girl.
So you always take like 3.
That's the key.
So that way maybe you can keep one for yourself. Well,
I don't know about that, but that's the key. If you have a lot of women with you, they're more likely to let one or two guys back, you know? So if you can, they'll allow 3 girls back and then maybe one guy since you're bringing 3 girls, you know? But we had to barter that. We had to go, hey, well, look, we got 3 girls here. At least let 2 of us guys back or whatever, you know? It was something like that.
What is it that drives you to go to those lengths just to meet somebody for like literally a blink of an eye?
What makes me go to those lengths?
Yeah, what makes you be like, oh, I want to meet, you know, the vocalist, or I want to meet, you know, so and so's playing, man. I got to meet so-and-so.
Well, first of all,
I mean, are you taking things to get signed, or I mean, do you have any autographs? Or
in my opinion, it's not great lengths. I mean, this took all of maybe 5 minutes, you know. But initially, my initial, motivation, I guess, is to give them a demo and let them hear my material. That's the ultimate motivation. Well, you never know.
They throw that crap out the window when they're going.
If it wasn't for Korn, there would be no Limp Bizkit. If it wasn't for Limp Bizkit, there would be no Stained.
And if there wasn't no Stained, there would be no Cold.
There you go. You know, this thing with Maynard, the singer of Tool, it kind of brings up the Me Too movement again to the forefront for me, at least. And so, I mean, what is your thoughts overall on the Me Too movement?
I don't think it's right if you're in a position of power, somebody executive, you know, be it, you know, movies or music or even just the boss of the gas station. I don't think it's right for anybody in a position of power to use that in order to offer anybody else's career progression for sex. I think that's just not cool. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. You don't hook up at work. You don't use your power to hook up. You want to get laid, go to a bar, go to a grocery store, go to church, whatever. and try using your personality. If you don't have one, maybe it's time to develop one. On that note, I also don't think it's right for anybody who went along with that. All right, Mr. Weinstein, I'll do this for the advancement of my career. And then I'll wait 30 years. And when I do come out, I'm going to come out publicly. And I'm going to go on to every TV show on this planet and cry every time that I'm on camera. Just seems manufactured. Why they would manufacture that, I don't know. But if I get mad at you over something that you did to me, I'm going to confront you either through legal channels, or I'm going to come and dot your I myself. Simple as that. I'm not going to go and get on the news. I'm not going to get on Facebook. I'm not going to get on, any kind of damn social media, make a video about it, put it on YouTube. I'm going to come to confront you either directly or through, have my lawyer contact you, or I will have if there's any way that I can press charges against you, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to go on every TV show on the planet just to bring somebody down. I don't know why this happened in the public eye. Now, do we have a right to know that, Weinstein was engaging in inappropriate practices of this nature? Yeah, I think we, am I going to throw out every DVD that I own that starts with his logo splashing on the screen saying a Weinstein production? No.
The Me Too movement overall, I think everyone needs to be careful with it because, it seems like we've been working so hard for equal rights for women, and there's still a wage gap and all this, and there may always be, and that may not be a bad thing. I don't know. But what I do know is that if you make companies afraid that someone's going to cry wolf or say harassment.
They're not afraid. They're not afraid. Sorry to interrupt, but they're not afraid. Here's what they're doing. Netflix has one of their policies, and I'm sorry I don't know all the terminology because I do not work in a traditional workplace. I own my own business, and it's in the construction trade, so if you don't use foul language and make dirty jokes, you're kind of not one of us and you're out. You know what I mean? So making nasty, crude comments is actually encouraged where I work. But Netflix has a policy and about that has to do with interactions of men and women, whatever. One of them is eye contact is not allowed to be made for longer than 5 seconds. No eye contact longer than 5 seconds.
Okay, well, this brings me to my point, though, is that not only are you making companies afraid or putting in policies, written in.
Ridiculous policies.
Okay, that's right. Well, either way, whether the company's afraid to hire a woman or they put in ridiculous policies, either way, it's not good. The overall outcome is it's not good. And then in addition to that, men are supposed to be the hunter-gatherers. 90% of the time, women want us to make the first move or gesture, okay? And a lot of people meet at the workplace. A lot of people find their husbands or wives at the workplace.
I know a couple.
And so, yeah. But now men are going to be afraid to flirt a little bit, And so what does this do for the overall structure of society? That's my concern. You got to look at it. Where are we at? Where are we at in 10 years from now with this?
I met my wife, and I was out this after saying earlier that, don't try to be, hooking up at work. I met my wife at work. But you know what? We worked together for like 5-6 months. I mean, we worked directly side by side. I won't say her boss, but she was on my crew, and I had to kind of guide her because I'd been doing it for decades, and she was kind of new at it. So we didn't, I mean, we talked back and forth, and she'd talk about so and so, and I, like her ex-boyfriend, or what should I do, and I'd be like, I'd give her what I would do. Well, from my perspective, I don't know you, and I don't have a dog in this fight because we ain't together. At the time, I wasn't interested like that. She was just a coworker. But there was no hanky-panky going on the job site. You know what I mean? Now, that happened off the job site. She called me and was like, hey, what are you up to? I'm like, I'm doing some work at the house, You want some help? I'm like, hell yeah, I could use some help. I thought about it for a minute. Like, you know what? It'd be kind of nice to, I'm sitting here staining cabinets, so I was like, you know what? It'd be nice to have an extra hand around here. And she was like really wanting to do it. So I was like, cool.
Right.
Put her to work. I actually got help. Doing that work, and it gave us another chance off the job site to talk, even though we were both doing work and it was very similar to what I do at work. It gave us a chance to talk and off the clock kind of talk, and we got to know each other really well at that point and decided to go on a date. But it happened off the clock. You know what I'm saying? I knew, there's got to be personal accountabilities, man. You got to know when and where you can do stuff.
Right. Well, no matter if it was off the clock, there was still some type of feeling or a glance
connection.
Or a looks, connection. There was something there.
I'll be honest
that
with
initiated
you.
that.
I'll be honest with
during
you. No,
work.
I was myself. I was just me all day long. Now she admitted later that she used to help hold the ladder for me and be like, look at those calves. So
China is about to launch another rover or something on to the moon, and
yay,
get some more shots up there. They did this in 2013, I believe, and now they're here soon. They said the first part of this year, so real soon I imagine they're shooting another one up there. And this time it's going to the dark side of the moon. Cue the Pink Floyd music.
Are they going to launch a Daihatsu up there?
What is this?
You don't remember those cars?
No.
Basically, I was asking if they were going to launch one of their cars up there.
Right. Yeah, and that brings me to Elon Musk. I mean, what do you think about him successfully launching a Tesla with a dummy? Or warning, conspiracy theory.
What did that cost?
Fake dead body.
What did that cost?
I'm probably billions. I mean, just one of those rockets, I think. Here, so it's up there. It's up there.
So I could think of a billion, couple billion better ways to spend that kind of money, but I guess.
Well, they re-land.
Was there any kind of
reusable
science behind that at all? Was he like, well, I'm going to launch a rocket to test the returning part, because the boosters now come back and land on like a barge or something, like a ship, like a boat.
Yeah, now that's groundbreaking.
That's amazing. Was that kind of why he launched the car into space? Is like, well, I don't have a payload right now, so I'm going to use one of my cars with a moon man from the MTV award in there, and we're
see
do
again.
that.
I was so excited.
Was there a motive? Do you know? Was there a scientific reason why he?
No,
he just did it because he's like, I'm Elon Musk.
Right, and
I got it like that.
I was so excited about SpaceX, and then this happened, and I was like, oh. I was excited about it, and then he shot a car up there, and what? Like, for what? Like, why? If we have Google in this day and age, in 2018, we can look anywhere we want with Google satellite imagery and all this, and all these conspiracy theories about the moon, or did we go, did we not? China is throwing rovers up there, high-quality photographs. Now you can log in to a website that Musk has put up, and you can see live. I don't know if you still can, but you could. You can see live a video feed from the vehicle with the dummy sitting in it.
I was about to ask you that. Why we have a floating space station that just hangs out in orbit as opposed to just building something on the moon.
Right. So China can do this. He can clearly having a live feed into space is easy. Well, easy if you have the money. NASA had a live feed for the longest time that you could watch 24 hours a day from the space station.
Yeah.
That's been cut. Imagine how cool it would be. He would be the first one in history to put a live feed from the moon. Wouldn't that? And that would crush a lot of flat earthers, a lot of moon conspiracy, moon deniers, the moon landing deniers. I mean, it would do a lot of things. It would put a lot of things into question, and it would be just an exciting time again for us. And I don't know why he chose to just shoot a car out into oblivion. For what? And what does that do?
Well, is there any word out on what China's goal is here by having the rovers go to the dark side of the moon?
I don't know, but I'm all for it. I mean, at least somebody's doing something.
The moon's hollow, so
right
makes you wonder how fragile it is.
When the Apollo lander launched off, to send them back to Earth, they had a seismograph that they put, I guess, on the surface, and when it launched off, they said it rang like a bell for half an hour.
Wow!
And everybody was shocked because,
and
that's how they know for sure that the moon is hollow, and it doesn't make sense. Scientists are still baffled by how is the moon hollow. It doesn't. That is indicative of a artificial structure. Well, let me ask you this: does it fascinate you at all?
Sorry, I got something in my eye besides my eyeball.
that Mars is our neighbor, and it looks almost exactly like Earth. It's got two polar caps, except it looks like something bad went down. It looks like 1,000 nukes went off a long time ago. But I mean, does that not fascinate you that it's almost exactly like Earth, and it's sitting right over there? And they found microbial life just a few inches down in the soil now, and that was recent.
I mean, I think it's neat. I think it would be cool to find out if there was actually like a civilization or any kind of life at all on Mars of any size. And I'm not talking about like on an atomic level or a micro level. There was a bacteria once on Mars. Yeah, well, guess what? We're a bacteria. We're just really big and have like opposable thumbs and tennis shoes. We are. We're a cancer. So I think Joe Rogan said it best when he said go up an airplane and look down. It looks like a cancerous growth. And it does. So was it Bill Hicks that said we're a virus with shoes?
It's subjective to your local environment as to how you're viewing something. I've been on a plane and you look down at the interstate and the 18-wheelers look like ants, and it is a trip. But it's subjective to your local environment. So if you could get down on an ant's level, maybe you would have more compassion before you smashed on that ant mound. I don't know. They have, Kepler, the Kepler telescope.
Right.
Its job is to look for planets, rotating suns, rotating around other stars.
Right.
They found one really nearby that is Earth-like and probably, way larger than the Earth. It's like Earth's big brother. And once they launch the James Webb telescope, which continues to be postponed, but it's the successor to Hubble, we'll be able to get actual close-up images of this planet. And once we see a planet rotating in orbit around a neighbor star that looks exactly like Earth, I mean, whether or not we find life, I mean, if that doesn't open your eyes, I don't think anything will.
Let me take my little stick pin and stab your little balloon right there.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll pop. It might be a very tough balloon. So you say that this telescope, whatever you called it, the Ernest Borgnine,
James
whatever,
James Webb.
That's the never mind. The Eugene Levy caterpillar eyebrow telescope has found, you said, thousands of planets that
I don't know.
have
Don't quote
revolving.
me.
Okay, well,
It's hundreds at least.
more than one.
Yeah, way more than
They
one.
found more than one
Yeah.
planet that could potentially be like ours, similar characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
Have they found any other telescopes that aren't ours?
If they did, they wouldn't tell us. So what do we have here on the menu today, Bob?
New Alice in Chains album comes out August 24th.
Yeah, I've been seeing
I actually
that.
heard the song, the first single, I guess you want to call it, on the radio today. Now, I had sampled the song early, like last weekend, but didn't really stick in my brain. Maybe I need to check my brain. And I was digging it, and I'm like, okay, I was trying to, I couldn't hear because there was other noise going on while I was, enjoying the song. And the first part of the song, I couldn't tell if it was a super fast, staccato pick, really fast pick and then pause, really fast pick, pause, or if he was just hitting it once and kind of like bending it a little. But it was really badass. And then I was like, okay, yeah, whatever this is, I'm down. And then I was like, Lane?
Look, this is just my opinion. None against him, but he just kind of fades into the background. Like I just hear Jerry,
Yeah.
And maybe I'm closing myself off because I don't want to be open to it because Lane's not
there's
involved. Namm, I think, just happened, right, in Nashville? Something?
Yeah. I don't
right?
even know what the hell Music Merchant North American
What
Music
it stands
Merchants.
for?
Yeah. NAMM stands for, the one in January is really cool, and the one in the summer is kind of lame.
Yeah.
It's like January, like winter NAMM, that's usually in like LA or Sacramento, whatever, that area. It's always like the really cool, like the Line 6, Helix gets announced, something like a flagship product gets announced. And then Summer NAMM, it's like Line 6 announces the guitar cable for the Line 6, the Line 6 Helix. You know what I mean? It's always like the lame stuff comes out.
So
But Summer NAMM, I mean, I shared this with you last night, text message wise. Stephen Carpenter
those
has three new models being released.
those guitars were sexy, man.
Anybody who knocks and says LTD is just a piece of shit,
Not anymore.
dude, I'll put. I mean, I'm sure that his, $4,000 ESP model probably feels better in your hands a little bit, and might somehow, I don't know how, but might produce a little smidgen more tonal quality. But let's be real. It's $1,000 or $1,100 versus $4,000.
Yeah.
And you're gonna plug it into a processor, either XFX 2 or XFX 3 or a Helix or something like that. And even if you don't, even if you run it through tube amp like I got here, and you mic it, with a good mic, it's still gonna probably end up in a DAW, which is on a computer. So it's getting digitized anyway. So
Right, good point.
any $3,000 differences are going to be lost.
Yeah.
So
Point taken. But they're getting better though. I mean,
usually
usually
older bodies.
Yeah.
And,
usually, if you got
ebony fretboard. You know why they're using ebony more and more now?
cheaper, the price went down.
Rosewood
wood
is
changes.
illegal.
Okay.
Rosewood's
you bought
illegal.
Years ago, when you would buy an LTD, an off-brand ESP, you would get a rosewood fingerboard. You would get like a basswood body, just cheap.
I mean, some
cheap stuff.
I've played basswood body guitars that were really well done. Now I didn't record with them, so I can't speak on the tone quality. But as far as translating into a studio mix, but live they sounded great.
They were usually bolt-on necks. Now they're neck through. I mean, they're adding a lot of the features from the Japan like custom shop now to the LTD models. So they're worth it. So and that red sparkle one and that green
the
sparkle.
8-string,
Boy.
I almost like the 6-string throwback, the green that kind of resembles the one that you have.
Okay.
The green machine, like you call it. I forget the model number of it.
See-through green.
But yeah, you've got the
trans green.
You've got the real ESP green machine. Well, this is kind of a homage to it.
Yeah, sound off in the comments. Let us know what you think, and maybe we'll bring it up on the next show.
Well, you can catch us on, of course, YouTube. You can comment there. You can hit us on Facebook. You can also hit us on Twitter. We have Instagram, but I'll be honest with you. I'm old. I don't even know how to use it.
Didn't they start reprimanding people for hitting people on Twitter?
What do you mean? You mean like
you said hit them on Twitter, so
okay,
I didn't know.
Okay, hit us up on Twitter.
Oh,
hit us tweet us, tag us in a post.
Twit.
Whatever.
Twit us.
Twit us in the Twitter.
When you get a chance.
Hit us in the Twitter. Yeah,
let us know what you think of the show, man. And everybody be safe. Be safe during this holiday, the 4th. I know we're all having fun and shooting off bottle rockets at each other's asses, but be safe out there and be careful when you're driving on the roads.
I don't agree with that. Speed, take chances, and light everything on fire.